Hey Stampin' friends, Darlene with Darlene Stamps. Thanks for stopping by. Want to go through a little bit of show and tell, and I believe this is my Christmas countdown number 5. And the warm hugs came as a bundle, and I always take it apart, put it on my magnet piece, and that way I keep my pieces together. But I want to show a little bit of tricks, and this took some doing, but well worth it. And as you can see, this is one of the little cup carriers that I made. Kind of has two sides to it, and then each cup has its own little cozy as well as a little label on it. So anyhow, good for cocoa. Some people I've seen have put like the tins that we have, putting these inside, and I believe I have them right here. I think 3 fit inside 1. So you could do tins and then some chocolate, so they don't have to be the cups, but just something different. So let's get started and show some ideas. All right, so on just a bit of prep. So in cutting out the pieces, one of the things that makes for an easy process, and I'm just going to show you how I did it rather than showing the whole process of going to the Stamp-A-Jig or the die cut. So these go in and can be fit any way, but as you put these on, you can choose different spots that go how they are. But what's interesting is that there are little pound signs on one side and asterisks on the other, so it's a matter of matching up your pieces. But all that now granted, I'm not going to run this through, I'm just going to show you, but matching up asterisk to asterisk, pound sign to pound sign. And as this goes through, I literally did tape these with when I ran them through the Big Shot, and that way I'm not running it through twice. So it's all cut out, and this is basically our end result. So that's where that comes out. But I just wanted to kind of show a little as far as putting it together and being able to use multiple dies with one pass through. So that makes for time saving, especially when you're doing a whole bunch of them. And that way, I keep my little pieces that I've cut out. And this one's for the project, so we'll work on that one. But that way, when you're putting it through, and this one, just for information, this actually does, I call it a button, but it does the circle punch and then pops that out in the middle. So that's that tight piece right there. And then it's stitched, so very, very nice. And then part of the prep is getting all the pieces cut and any kind of extras that you may need. So I've already put my stamps on my blocks, so I am ready to go. And we're going to go for a little trip. Now, I did sacrifice one of the cups and to get my pattern, and that way I can cut my pattern out and cover like I did here, so it actually has a pattern. Now let me just give you a little bit of a tidbit here. So in the wonderful Love It Chop It, this is the paper, and yet I would do the 6x6, everything is fine. This is retired paper. Let me just confess this right now, I'm using it up, but because it was 6x6, it ran short, so it kind of worked out good. In order to do this piece, which is a little bit wider than 6, this piece was a fill-in. So when I put my sleeve on, I just use my button on one side and my little label on the other. So anyhow, just for I mean, the pattern is just cut from here. So again, I just sacrificed that. We'll put that on in just a second. So I want to start to build this. So I've got all my pieces already done. Now, here's a trick. When this comes flat, go from the bottom And you're going to basically, just like you do scoring, you're going to move this around and fold it the opposite way. And that way you got these pieces, and you can probably use that bone folder and crimp that down. So then what it does is it gets all your pieces good and solid. Okay. Now also with this, same thing, fold all these in. And that way when you're going to have a crisp, solid line, we don't have any boo-boos. Now, folding this, super simple. So take your little divot, not the, I guess this would be the female side. So this goes in, your sides go next, and then this one that has the flap goes in and pops right through there. Look at that. And then once, because we did our nice fold, it sits flat. So that's our piece. All right. Now let's start building. So that's for my tag. Oh, and this is the beautiful specialty paper. It's felt. And so I wanted to use this today. And I just noticed that all my little pieces didn't come out. So let me pop these out. Anyhow, part of the set I thought was really neat was that these little pieces could be used for a lot of things, not just for these little cups. So anyhow, just something fun to know as a little tidbit. Now, I kind of cheated because my tip was, you know, this piece that I'm going to layer over this felt, this will shine. See, that kind of comes through. Looks like stitching. But this is going to be hidden. And like I do with my cards, I want to utilize that spot. So that is my piece that we have for the ribbing. We will make that as well. Put those over here. So it's my ribbing. Okay. Get my pieces. Pop, 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 pop. Okay. Good. Now, because we want to use the... hold on, my thoughts here. Okay, so when we're doing our piecing, it is better if you can take your bone folder and start to break down those fibers. It will not go around the cup very easily. I glued it first. That was a mistake. And the biggest thing is being able to get this thing to curl. So if you curl it or break it down prior to, your cup and cozy will be ever so thankful. Our pieces together. This was the little scalloped edge, and it's stitched, and then it covers those holes and pops those right through. So I want to get my, now this already, I took the felt and embossed it. So it basically is all pretty by itself, so I don't have to stamp on that. But I am using Dashing Deer, and this pretty stamp just looks so nice against this cream. And thought, well, I needed something. I could have used the pieces that came in, which is the cup and the tree, but I thought this kind of, and once you see it, see, doesn't that look very nice, right? All right, so let me get, and I've got ink all over my hands already. All right, but that's what happens when you stamp. Very nice. Okay, put that in my stamping, cleaning. Okay, now we got that done. And I want to start with gluing because we need to get, I've noticed because of how long it takes to have something set. And I'm going to put like that there, is that if I let it sit and put that on there, it will bind together a little better, especially this felt one. So I'm just going to put these over here and have them put a heavy piece on. There, and that way that one piece can be strong. Oh, I need that on. Okay, now let's move this aside just to fuzz. And let's bring, I'm going to open my box back up because it's going to be a little easier to glue these down. All right, so pieces. Again, I am using retired paper. Because, you know, when you get these projects and you start with the projects and they go so well, and then life just kind of happens and then you don't use it. So rather than, I know I should probably be promoting some of the current paper, but you know, it kind of, I mean, that's part of being resourceful, right? And I keep preaching that because how important it is to use it up. That's why that Love It, Chop It is so wonderful, is that it really creates a nice the usage of the paper. All right, so we are just going to get, now we got our box down. Okay, so now I can put my box back together. I just wanted to show it as far as it being easy to put together. And now we have all my sides done. Okay, so now we should be done with this. And everything is curved and done. Now, I'm going to do a little trick to show you what I did, because in previous box I did, it tends to get strained. So what I did, because you won't see it, is I put tear and tape down on that edge, and I'm not going to peel it off because I don't want it to stick to the cup. I just want it to be solid on my piece. Okay. All right. And so now, because the piece going on to here is going to be, I can't, of course, lay it flat. So make sure that my curve is in here. Because that was probably the one thing that I had the biggest problem with, is getting this thing to stay curved. So let's get our, because the glue takes a little bit longer to hold. Oops, there we go. And so I found myself kind of holding it and being ever so careful. And so if I get that, and then I will do the tape on that in just a second. And this one, so the felt is just going to be one of those things that will take a little bit more time to glue. And I'll be right back. All right, so we've got the cozies all done. I got the cups all wrapped, and just to save time, trying to save from the gluing, watching the glue dry. That's like watching paint dry. So anyhow, then what I want to do is position my edges for the best sides, you know, whether the seam, I don't want to have the seam on there. And that way you see it from all sides. So anyhow, and then that will go good in my cozy, my little carrier, just like that. All right, so let's build some more. And so in doing our pieces, so we're going to get our little tag made. And these are really great for our toppers. There's different types you can put in there, but that just makes it, gives it a nice scallop. It gives it a nice edge, and that kind of makes it so much easier than trying to wing it. You know, I've tried winging it, and it doesn't turn out when it gets winged. You know, it's just one of those things. All right, so let's get our pieces and stamp. Now, I am going to be covering this, so I saved the inside. but I want to get some of my pieces that I've got so that I know what I'm going to do. So on this one, I think the best thing to do is to just keep it simple. I think simple seems to be a great way of doing this. Now I want to do my banner, my tag, and I'm going to use the piece. I already had these cut, so that's why I keep, whenever you do any type of cutouts, I always do extra, and that way they stay in a little pile and then I can just use them as I need to. So got some stamping done, primarily save some time, because you know, I guess for me, I think that it is very efficient in your time when you're watching, and I want to share like you would with the workshop. And since the COVID has made it ever so beneficial to have a workshop, because you can just watch me online. So in doing so, it also makes for really an easy transition for having not only the ability to kind of show what I love to do, but also to have a uniformed aspect, because a lot of you know how to stamp. It's just a matter of having just some ideas and tips. So what I'm doing is building my tag. I've got some things, and it helps you to kind of look at when I can pull that apart, and it looks like that will be perfect right there. And to really have stuff to put together. You know, when you're putting something together, it takes time. So to save time, the biggest benefit is to make it as easy as possible. So I'm actually doubling up on this because I want it to be raised a little higher than normal. So if I just stack it on itself, I can get this started. And you know, when I was making my first one, I got my pick tool out. I tried everything I could to get this to come off, and it was really giving me a dickens of a time. And now I'm finding the same problem here. Okay, we're just going to make it work. That's what we're going to do. Because, oh, for Pete's sakes. All right, fine. You know, if you can't beat them, you join them. So that's what I'm going to do. I was trying to get this to stick on. All right, now let's see if I can get this off. I tried the pick tool, and it was not as beneficial as it has been in the past. But the whole point is to get it to stick to that felt. So you can see it kind of raised a little bit. And then I added some gold from my little, I keep my old Stampin' Up little cases. This is for all of my little pieces, because these little pieces are gems. I tell you what. Now, I could have done a little, see with this one, see how I did this little piece? And actually, the stamp comes from the set right here. Anyhow, I could have done that here, but I got talking, so I didn't do it. All right, well, there you go. There's that. Okay, so now I need to work on my front of my box, and I'm going to use the same material, same DSP, and I don't want it to cover the whole thing, so let's do right about there. Now, this is high tech. I mean, I didn't measure. Yikes. Didn't measure, didn't do any of that. And then this is that same beautiful felt. And I'm just going to build. But that's what's nice. If you put it all out, you know, stamp it all, lay it out, then you can see how it looks. see what will work out good. See how that works out good. And I stick the base of this retired paper is the ivory. So if you stick with that theme, that will really, really help cohesively make it all blend together. All right, so I'm building. So I have my little felt piece and all my pieces. So when you're cutting, that's why it makes sense to just cut all the extra pieces and make it all work. And looks like, okay, so I think this one's on me. I think I like that. Oh, and I am going to pop this up because as much as the glue is good for some things, on specialty paper and stuff, it's not as user-friendly. So I am just going to use my itty bitties and dimensionals. And you know, if you get the paper pumpkin, you know, these little dimensionals come in the kit. So this kind of makes it nice, just FYI. I'm putting a plug in for the paper pumpkin. And this September 10th, which was yesterday, I'm afraid, is the time to, if you, each month you've got a bit of a 10-day window to actually, and that's what I'm supposed to use, shoots, is to actually put in to resubscribe. So that is what I was trying to say. Okay, so I've got that done, and that's going to go right on the front of here. So that can just be glued down. Since I have the pieces up, I've raised them. And what I'm going to do, yeah, I was going to raise the inside of that, but because let me not do that, because I did not do, I did not do the candy cane, I'm going to do the candy cane, because I think that would be good. I've already done the cup. The cup has like a two-step process, which was nice because then you kind of have an extra piece. So I was going to use a cup and I just didn't feel like using the cup. Isn't that what's nice? When you do this, you can decide what you like best. And I like my, you can't see it, but I do have my chamois off here to the side because it really helps to make a stamp off. I can wash my stamps right after I use them, and I'm trying to get the candy cane. Yay! Now I did that. Oh, and let me raise it up. I don't know if I want to do that or not. Yep. All right. I put glue on it and decided that I shouldn't have. All right. So that's the boo-boos. Okay. Off and going. I guess sometimes when you talk and stamp at the same time, it's not really a good method. All right. Let me get this together and we will put it all together. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got a hot mess going on. I put together a couple things, and I call it a button, but the pieces that come from some of the die cuts go on one side, and then the other side is where I can see which one I like. I put the actual tag, so I think that one needs to go on there. And so what I do is I take my double-sided tape and place it on that seam. And I use the real strong because, again, the felt has a different type of adhesive as far as what sticks and what doesn't. So just finding out where it is. Now I can basically put this on just like that. And once it's on, then I take it off and do my pressing on it. So there. Okay, there's that. Perfect. Then this one, I got my button already on. I call it a button. Kind of looks like a button, but it covers that seam a little bit. And then the same thing I'm going to do with this one. I am using my icky scissors. They're the same, but I have put a ribbon behind on this one just so it gives it a little bit of oomph. One of the other things that helps with the placement of the tape is that it actually helps to bind that seam. I've tried using the dimensionals, and because they tend to be a little not less strong, but they have a tendency to just be that very an isolated dot, whereas this tape gives me a bigger view. Now I was going to put a little cup on here, but this is kind of looks like a bow to me. So there. Very nice, huh? Now, so now we have our pieces that are coming together. Now I have this side, but we're going to actually hang this from this side. So I have string, which is our linen thread, linen string, linen thread. And this will go through that hole. And then the purpose of the tag is twofold. One, to give dimension to this side, but also to put together you know, whether they're looking at one side or another, it kind of gives them twofold. So that's kind of, I don't know, that's my thought. But, you know, I am very convinced that this year I will be up on my game of Christmas. And as I've been doing the countdown to kind of give you some ideas for you, hoping to have a little bit of creativity. You know, sometimes when we go through and have ideas, we tend to not, we get too focused on one thing and then we don't do the other. So, okay, so there we go. Now, I didn't do the lids, but just for the sake of time, just wanted to show you that. So there's that and that. And there are two different ones. Hope you enjoyed this. Spend some time. It takes a little bit, but you can use these for candy or for the little tins or for the cups. Put cocoa in it, serve with coffee, but the strength, the flexibility of what you can do with these is beyond your imagination. Have fun with these. Have a great day. Bye for now.